Thanks for letting me stay on with your crew, Captain. I plan to be a very generous queen to all my friends.
I can see we're gonna get along just fine, your high exaltedness.
Don't start with that. Risha will do fine. For now. Every captain needs a good first mate. Corso doesn't know what it takes to run a starship. But I do. Considering the light years you've been racking up, I suggest a hyperdrive overhaul and a sublight engine tune-up. Which do you want first?
The last thing we need is to get stranded in deep space. Keep my hyperdrive hyper.
Consider it done. I'll be indispensable before you know it. Bet you were surprised to see I can hold my own in a fight. I'm pretty good with a blaster. My father taught me to shoot when I was 4 years old.
Sounds like Nock didn't give you much of a childhood.
Are you kidding? His lieutenants were terrified of me. They let me do whatever I wanted. Father wanted me self-sufficient as early as possible. Said I'd need it to survive. He was right. I still remember the day he told me he was going to sleep for a while. Said I was on my own.
Nock was in that carbonite for a decade. Weren't you still counting birthdays on one hand?
I was 11. Made my first solo hyperspace jump and flew to Dantooine. Father had a hideout there. Talk about your one bantha planets. For a few years, Dantooine's population was doubled thanks to me and Father frozen in carbonite.
You had one messed up childhood, Risha. It's a wonder you didn't come out crazy.
Looking back, I should have been miserable. But it was just a big adventure. Speaking of which, we're overdue for some more excitement. What do you say we get back to our latest caper? Sometimes I can't believe you actually got back my crown. Do you know how many spacers died looking for it? Don't take this the wrong way, but when we first met, I thought you'd end up like all the others.
I'll always beat the odds. You can count on that.
Why do you think I stayed with you? I'm hoping some of that luck rubs off. What I'm really saying is, thanks. I wouldn't be where I am without you.
I never leave an unhappy customer. Except for Rogan the Butcher. He doesn't count.
You can't please everyone. Anyway, didn't mean to slow us down. I'm sure we have plenty to do. I think I figured out why we get along so well, Captain. We're both restless people. It's how we survive. Trouble loves us, and we just keep on moving. Eventually, Trouble gets tired of following and gives up.
There's always more trouble where that came from.
Exactly. Isn't it wonderful? There wasn't nearly enough trouble growing up on Dantooine. After being a crime lord's daughter, sitting around got dull real quick. I had a big library of holo recordings from my father, but I could only watch them so many times.
Never figured Nock for the sentimental type. He left you a bunch of holos dispensing his life's wisdom?
If by wisdom you mean teaching me how to become a criminal, then yes. He was a good teacher, very detail-oriented. By the time I was 14, I'd had enough. I buried Father's carbonite chamber someplace safe and hit the hyperlanes with a new identity. Those were good times. I met Duran and Adila, got mixed up with Beryl Thorne, lived a life of crime.
I'm sure Nock was proud of your accomplishments.
Actually, he was disappointed I didn't have my own criminal empire. I was having too much fun on my own. I'm starting to enjoy these chats, but I'm feeling restless. Let's go find some trouble. I envy you, Captain. You'll always be free to do as you please. That all changes for me, once I'm a queen.
I thought the whole point of ruling a planet was to do whatever you feel like.
My ancestors tried that. Didn't work out. I've studied records about the Drayen dynasty. They started from humble beginnings, distinguished themselves as war heroes, officially anyway. In reality, they backstabbed their way to power just like every other ruler. Some were better at it than others.
Why didn't Nock make his own play for the throne? He was king of the backstab.
He knew recovering the crown was essential to establishing legitimate rule. It's not enough to conquer a world, you have to hold it too. Father had his failings, but he inspired loyalty. Whenever he defeated a rival gangster, he always freed the enemy slaves. He gave them a choice: join him or take their chances elsewhere. No recriminations for anyone who left. The rest became family.
Interesting way to recruit new talent. How many slaves actually signed on?
Those people had a lot of anger issues. Most were excited to have a job that let them express it. There was this one little Twi'lek girl who joined us. Best thief I ever met. Got into all sorts of trouble together. We were like sisters, but when Father's organization collapsed, we got separated. I never found out what happened to her.
Never too late to find her. If she's as good a thief as you say, she might come in handy.
That was a long time ago. Sometimes it's better to leave the past alone. You're really bringing out my chatty side today. That usually means I need to get some exercise. Let's find something more exciting to do than stand around. I'm reviewing the holovids of Dubrillion. Beautiful planet. Amazing oceans and forests. One of these days I'll have to see it in person.
Why wait? Give me the coordinates. I'll have us there by dinner time.
Throttle down, Captain. Don't you think I'd have visited by now if I could? Father warned me to stay away from that planet before he went into hibernation. The spaceport has genetic scanners keyed to the Drayen bloodline. The King's doing everything in his power to keep me away. I'm not taking over without inside help. Until then, I have the holovids. If I'm going to take over Dubrillion, I can't keep looking for allies in the same old places. The scum of the galaxy isn't as useful when you're stealing a throne. I need a better class of accomplices.
You can't steal anything big without some corrupt officials on your payroll.
There are some interesting rumors out of Dubrillion. Turns out the aristocracy is unhappy with the king. Some nobles are secretly rebelling.
Hating the king is one thing. Putting you on the throne is something else.
The point is, the planet's politics are ripe for change. All I have to do is personify that. Dubrillion is turning into another Alderaan. A new queen could prevent that, assuming she had the aristocracy's support. But that means taking this game to a new level. You up for that?
You're the one steering the ship. I'm just along for the ride.
That's not exactly true, but thanks for the vote of confidence. That was confidence, right? I've put out feelers to some key Dubrillion nobles. When one of them bites, be ready to pounce. In the meantime, we have plenty of other business to keep us occupied. My search for allies in Dubrillion's aristocracy has been interesting. Got an offer from a lesser baron. What a piece of work. Guy must think I'm an idiot. Took 2 minutes to verify he's a spy for the king. He was baiting me into a trap.
Glad you caught wise before it went any further. I'm in no mood for another Tatooine.
Look on the bright side. At this rate, the king will run out of assassins within the year. I sent the spy a phony meeting request from Nar Shaddaa. He's sending friends to help me. They're in for a surprise. Couple of Hutts owe me a favor. They promised to record the whole thing. I'll send the king a copy. Never thought I'd say this, but you're my favorite partner in crime. You make beating the odds look easy, Captain.
That may be the biggest compliment you've ever paid me.
I like to mix a little praise with the insults. Keeps you off balance. I've definitely learned a few dirty tricks from watching you work. Think I might have found a few of my own. We'll find out at our next death-defying showdown. I can't wait. You probably think I'm chasing Dubrillion's throne to get rich, don't you?
Credits are just a means to an end. You must want all that money for something.
I've seen what bad leadership does to a place. Alderaan, Nar Shaddaa, even Coruscant. They all suffer because of who's in power. I'm not looking to plunder Dubrillion. I want to make it better, run their society the right way.
From everything I've heard about your homeworld, it could use someone decent in charge.
Never thought of myself as decent before. Maybe I can sell that. Every successful leader has the same strength. They're perceived as generous by their subjects. Give the people just enough of what they want, and they'll leave you alone. That's something the King of Dubrillion doesn't understand.
You can't give people what they want if you can't afford it. Maybe Dubrillion isn't as wealthy as you think.
It's wealthy enough to support an aristocracy. Of course, they need to get paid off, too. I can make this work. It's all about negotiation, and I'm good at that. I'm just thinking out loud now. We should get back to business. The longer I spend here, the more it feels like home. I'm even starting to appreciate Corso. Must be coming down with something. Promise me you'll visit often when I'm Queen of Dubrillion.
I'll visit so often you'll have to build an extra wing onto the palace.
Why not? How about a private landing pad to go with it? It'd be nice to sneak away with you for the occasional break. Go someplace dangerous. Steal something expensive. Mock the bad guys. When you think about it, being queen of a planet provides the perfect alibi. We should take advantage of that. Guess who found a potential accomplice in the Dubrillian aristocracy? Feast your eyes on this hollow-embossed, genuine flimsiplast invitation. See that fancy Arabesh lettering? Hand-drawn, in ink. Classy. Count Merit Reneld requests the favor of your presence at a discreet location in the Galactic Senate Tower on Coruscant at a time of your choosing.
Coruscant? Why not Dubrillion?
Coruscant is neutral ground. Meeting at the Senate Tower? That's a gesture of respect. Count Reneld is one of the most popular nobles on Dubrillion. He's also secretly organizing a rebellion against the king. His invitation is addressed to Risha Drayen, royal heir to the Drayen dynasty. He's taking me very seriously.
The Count sounds like the kind of accomplice you need to overthrow the king.
I'm contacting him by holo to arrange our meeting. Wanted you here to help me get a read on him. Opening a channel. Whoa.
This is a tremendous moment, your royal heiress. I grew up hearing tales of the Drayen dynasty, the great battles your ancestors fought. I never believed I'd meet a member of that proud bloodline in person. You have my deepest sympathies for your family's exile.
We don't have all day. Stop sucking up and get to the point.
You must be the starship captain who recovered the crown of Dubrillion. My world is in your debt.
The king wants that crown, and my head. He won't be happy if he finds out we're talking.
The man has lost all reason. He must be removed from power, but in a way that spares our world a bloody civil war. I believe the common people and aristocracy alike would embrace the Drayen dynasty heir, especially if she wears the crown of Dubrillion.
Nothing is ever that easy. Skip to the part where our lives get complicated.
It will not be enough to dethrone the king. He must be replaced by someone that people view as one of their own. Right now, you are an outsider. The only way to change that is to marry someone from the existing aristocracy.
Get married? To who?
Well, the only available suitor is... Great stars, this is awkward. I am offering myself in marriage to you.
You sound a little nervous, Count. Is your heart really in this?
Forgive my hesitance. I only feared insulting the lady with my abruptness. The circumstances are far from ideal. I understand my proposal is abrupt, but I wished to make my intentions clear and not waste your valuable time. I certainly don't expect an immediate response. All I ask is that you consider this for the good of Dubrillion.
That'll be easier to do once we've met in person. I'm on my way to Coruscant. See you there, Count. Well, that wasn't awkward at all.
That was the worst blind date ever. You've known this guy all of 2 minutes and he proposes marriage? Crazy.
This isn't romance, it's just politics. Under the circumstances, I should probably take this meeting alone. Be back soon, Captain. Never talked to a complete stranger for that long before. Count Reneld gives to charities, builds orphanages, creates wildlife preserves, and those are just his hobbies. You ever consider we've been wasting our lives?
Somebody's got a crush on Count Nice Guy.
He is nice, but I'm not rushing into anything. I told the Count I needed time to think about his proposal. That'll give me a chance to run a deep background check. If this guy is as good as he seems, he just might help me overthrow the king without getting married. Count Reneld is a man of his word. He sends me daily updates about his rebellion's progress. Incredibly sweet, beautifully written updates. I knew taking Dubrillion's throne would be a challenge, but this is getting complicated. Merit's every bit the man he appears to be. Even the dirt I've dug up on him turned out clean.
It's Merit now, huh? Sounds like you two are getting downright chummy.
He keeps insisting I not refer to him so formally. It's cute. Nothing about this guy triggers warning bells. When it comes to husbands, I could do a lot worse. I'll stop bothering you. I needed to talk, and you're the only person who understands me.
I'm always here if you need me.
I'm sure there's trouble somewhere with our name on it. What do you say we go take all its credits? I was prepared for almost anything if it meant becoming queen. Foiling assassination attempts, fighting wars, bunking on this ship for years. Just kidding. Marrying the Count was never part of the plan. Can I really do that?
I'm trying to think of what I wouldn't do to become rich and powerful. Nope, I got nothing.
I've seen how your eyes wander every time we land on a new planet. You might get married, but could you stay that way? Ugh, I hadn't even thought about producing heirs. Not that he wouldn't be a great father. This conversation's officially given me a headache. Let's go do something outrageous. Things on Dubrillion have taken a turn. The King's put a death mark on Count Renald's head. When the citizens heard that, they rebelled. The King imposed martial law to stop the rioting, but that got the aristocracy riled up. The whole planet's going to war.
Sounds like the Count's plan to avoid bloodshed by marrying you just went up in flames.
We were never going to unseat the King without a fight. I just hoped we'd pick the time and place. Needless to say, the Count has his hands full just staying alive. But even with all that's happened, he still wants to marry me. I can't keep putting him off. Any advice how I should play this?
Forget about the politics for a second. Do you love this guy or not?
I barely know him. This isn't about love. I need to figure out what's best for my long-term plans. Oh, perfect. Time's up. That's him calling on the Hollow. All right. Let's do this. Merritt, I'm glad you're safe. From what I hear, the fighting got worse after you escaped.
I cannot spare Dubrillion from war, but perhaps we can still create a better future together. I realize forging a true relationship takes time, and our marriage won't be consummated for some time, but I am hopeful. My proposal stands, dear Risha. Will you marry me?
Say yes. Hurry before you lose your nerve.
Yes, I'll marry you. We'll make it official the old-fashioned way. Have your people bring me a written contract to sign. But let's not make it easy for the King to kill us. Until the war's over, we shouldn't meet in person. Agreed?
I will continue to send you updates as I'm able. Dubrillion will be free. Farewell, my lovely wife. May the stars watch over you.
Isn't he adorable?
You make an adorable couple. I hope you're not expecting a gift on this short notice.
You can owe us. I should probably do something to celebrate. Want to go steal something really expensive? I've been getting reports on the war for Dubrillion. It's dragging into a stalemate. Nobody has a clear advantage yet. I want to get more involved with the war effort, but my allies tell me the best thing I can be is a symbol.
What are you supposed to represent?
I don't know. Some nonsense about New Hope. The minute I open my mouth and start talking politics, I risk losing support. I can't afford that right now. Guess I'm stuck on the sidelines until it's over. At least I have company. I've been thinking about the future a lot lately, and I had a funny realization. Every scenario I see, you're in it. I've never let myself get close to anyone. Not even my friends from the old days. Count Renald may be my husband, but you're my family.
Does that make me part of your noble bloodline? Will I have to learn that crazy Dubrillion accent?
Don't worry about it. My first edict as queen will be to teach everyone on the planet how to speak proper basic. I don't know what the future holds for us, but I promise to always be there. Not just for you, but everyone you care about. That's as mushy as I'm getting. Back to finding trouble.